Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host and the noob. My name is Caliban. That's a ridiculous banana.
And we're a couple of magical people ready to moon cosmic power make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 130. Momore haha no yume, daburu moon no shin hisato waza in Japanese. Protect Mom's Dream, Double Moon's New Attack, the English translation, and the English title, Sweet Dreams.
Haha.
Haha is the informal way of saying mom in Japanese.
What?
Yes.
You're laughing at me? No, I just love your cookies, please.
No, but yeah, it's the, so you, okasan is the very formal way, so that would be like mother, and haha is like mom or mama.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Papa?
Oh God, you would ask me this.
I've heard them say Papa. Just Papa.
Otosan, yeah. Otosan is the formal way of saying father. I think it is just Papa.
Okay.
But they call Ikoko Mama, don't they?
Haha, can you hear me?
So I don't know if that's right. I'll have to look it up and get
All
back
right.
to you.
Well, tell me if this is right or not.
Okay.
What's up with this time on? Can you explain that to me?
What do you mean? Like
There
the
is
flash
no
at the beginning?
Flash. There is a wordplay going on, and it is, she goes, well, it's a chibi, it's a lemon pie, and then she's like, this is a crazy ukiwa floating tube, like an inner tube.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it's a uwaki having an affair, and then that's a ridiculous banana. What the hell?
I don't know, other than like Japanese loved wordplay. They probably love gameplay too. But I don't know the ridiculous banana.
Ukiwa and uwaki. Mm-hmm. I guess that phonetically, that's could be a transposition, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly in English, the romaji, they are all the same 5 letters.
Yeah.
Mixed around, so right. I can see that. But I was thinking and we always miss out on like the character wordplay because we don't know the characters. Mm-hmm. And I did a little bit of digging, but I would have done it all day. I had other things to do. But I got like the ukiwa, uwaki makes sense because she thinks her mom's cheating. Mm-hmm. So maybe she starts off like, this is an inner tube. I mean, this is an affair. Yes. But like, why does she mix that up other than, I guess, the phonetics?
The phonetics, because you could say the wrong thing. And maybe also it's usagi.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a ridiculous banana.
It is a ridiculous banana. I was like...
No bananas in the episode.
What is this?
There's other fruit in the episode.
She's talking about lemon pie a whole lot. And then she's like, this is a ridiculous banana.
It is a banana.
Bananas. Also yellow. So, I don't know.
You think it's a rule of threes thing.
I don't know.
Like she gives us the one thing, the second thing, okay, I got it. And then it's like, blah, and then the third thing is, that'd be comedic.
I guess, I don't know.
Something's got to be funny in this show. We'll get to it.
Wow.
Speaking of funny, you know what's funny?
What?
Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is funny.
It is.
The live action show, I mean, of course.
Of course.
Technically, that's the name of this show, too. But, and we're talking about it on our Patreon. And I got to tell you, we're getting real near the end.
We are.
Of covering Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, PGSM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not a part of our Patreon, you want to hear us talk about the end. And you want to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
And be with us there at the conclusion. So go to patreon.com/Sailor Noob. And sign up today, become an intersenshi. You can hear us talk about PGSM. You can hear us talk about other anime shows on our show, Animedification, and also talk about Japanese films, Japanese-related films, and Sailor Cinema. A wealth of content at patreon.com/Sailor Noob. Don't miss out on the senses-shattering finale of PGSM. Will the world be destroyed? Did Mamoru keep the receipt on that watch? It's broken now.
It is broken now.
He's just saying, this is cheap. Return it. Okay, get a new one. What's going to happen?
It's kind of his fault it's broken.
Does a Coca... Well, look, we talk about it all.
A little spoiler.
PGSM. Patreon.com/Sailor Noob.
Well, let's get into the bananas, shall we? And how about you break down today's episode?
I'll give you a recap. No cap.
All right.
We open looking upon a classic Sailor Moon star field, an aurora-tinged view of the night sky, while sweeping instrumental music plays. And we see Pegasus flying through this kaleidoscopic sky. We hear Chibi's voice say, "Pegasus! Wait, Pegasus!" And the voice of Pegasus say, "Please hurry before the darkness in the sky paints the crystal forest black." I see a forest and I want it painted black. Chibi says, "Wait, Pegasus, I have so many questions. Is your hair feathers or are your feathers hair? You ever met a bird with horse legs? Will you sign my sticker album?" But Pegasus flies into the sky and Chibi abruptly wakes in her loft bedroom. He's in her dreams. We cut to the next day, a rainy day. Usagi busts in, spears her umbrella into the stand, explodes out of her shoes, and smells something delicious cooking. Mm-hmm. And I guess I appreciate that they're showing restraint, but she almost floats Looney Tunes style on the scent of this dish into the dining room to see Chibi and Shingo finishing off a lemon pie. Usagi says, "Hey, where's my piece?" And Chibi holds out the last bite for her and snatches it away brutally. Psych! Finishes it off. She says, "Ikuko baked it as a reward for us." And she and Shingo show their 100% grades on their tests. Usagi says, "You guys have easy problems, so of course you get perfect scores." Just then Ikuko comes in and says, "Oh, really? Let's see what score you got." And Usagi says, "Oh my God, where have you been? Why did you leave us? We thought you were dead. I can't believe you're here." Oh my God. It's Ikuko, Mama.
Yeah, I know.
She's alive.
I know, it's been a while.
Take the posters down. Anyway, she shows that Usagi got a 28 on her test, which, like, out of 100? That's really not great.
Yeah.
What's on me been doing all this time? Usagi thinks, the exam that I hid under my bed with my special manga. Mom says, "I used to be bad at math too, but this is not great." And Chibi says, "I would prefer that you didn't lower the family average all by yourself." Ow. Someone's losing access to those special manga. Usagi says, Yes, but it's not fair. There's no pie for me." And she throws a full-on Szechuan sauce style tantrum on the floor. Mom says, "Wait, I cut it so that there'd be enough for everybody." And we see Chibi like tiptoeing out of the room. And Usagi's like, "Hey!" But Chibi turns on the Chibi and says, "But Mama's pie is so delicious." And Usagi explodes. "Damn it, Chibi-usa! I'll take that pie out of your ass." Wait.
Whoa.
"Lemon pie!" And Mom says, yeah, you're the older one here." Is she? Usagi says, "You're too easy on Chibi. I read in a book that if you give your child too much attention, your relationship with your husband cools down." What book?
I have no idea.
The Cosmo Guide to Filicide?
Oh my God.
101 hot tips to spice up your love life and save on baby formula?
Oh no.
With a foreword by Casey Anthony?
Oh, stop. Not funny.
Bold move, show, bringing up a character we'll never see again.
Yeah, I know.
Mom is like, "What craziness is this?" And Usagi's like, "Oh, okay, sure, yeah, sure. You think the Chibi-usa is more precious than me? Come on!" And Ikuko's like, "Okay, enough. I mean, it's just food." And Usagi's like, "You bitch!" And she runs out, slamming the door. Then she walks back in, grabs her umbrella, and she walks out again. Later at Fruit Parlor Crown, she's chilling with the squad, and they're like, "So you stormed out over lemon pie?" And Usagi says, "It's the principle. Chibi is always eating food that I'm saving for later."
If you put it in there, then it's fair game for anybody who wants to eat it.
She ate my chunky strawberry chocolate, my over-delicious rice crackers, my seaweed and horseradish potato chips. Everyone's like, are you making these foods up? And Makoto says, they say grudges about food are very scary. Who? Who says that? Is this like the New York style pizza versus the Chicago style pizza? Who?
I
Sometimes trying to be helpful doesn't help, Mako.
Oh my gosh.
She's just like, some, they say it's pretty bad. What are you talking about?
I think the
This is pho versus faux?
I don't know. I swear, I think I watched maybe a slightly different translation, and she said, food, people getting upset about food, that can be scary. Instead of saying,
how's that different than what I said?
I don't know.
What are they upset about? Apparently with other people.
Yeah, upset with other people.
We gotta watch the same translation. Or let's swap translations.
We could swap.
Maybe you can answer some questions for me.
Okay, all right.
Usagi says, Mama thinks Chibi is more precious than me. And she anime cries.
Yes.
Classic Sailor Moon. Manako tries to comfort her, and Ami says, Chibi is living separated from her parents. Sort of, you know what she means.
Yeah.
She's still young enough to need attention. Well, younger than you. Maybe take it with a grain of salt. And Usagi just has this 1,000-yard stare. At the big top, in the middle of town. The one no one sees.
Right.
We cut to the neon bar, where Fisheye is telling Tiger's Eye, so you failed twice to woo a woman. Maybe you're losing your touch. But Tiger says, no, it's those pesky sailor soldiers. Hawkeye says, women are scary when they turn into your enemies. Wow, somebody's not texting back. He says it's best to approach them with kind words and fool them.
Great advice.
Yeah. And lying on your Tindr profile. Right. That's good too. Using your graduation photos. Yeah, come on. You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, right.
Sure, maybe that All-American Reject shirt will come back around someday. He plucks from their pile of photographs a photo of Ikuko. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. And Tiger says, still have a thing for older women?
I know.
And Hawkeye says, don't stand so close to me. No, that's younger women. He starts to shake and cough.
Oh
like
my
that old
God.
man in the famous book by Nabokov.
That's pretty good.
He says, older women are more accepting and better to fool around with. Okay, what are the Cosmo circulating numbers in Japan?
I don't know.
We have a lot of questionable but overconfident romantic advice floating around this episode. Hawkeye takes a suggestive sip of his drink and licks his lips. Show?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
You're all grown up now.
Yeah.
He says, I'll show you my Madame Killer technique. It's stabbing them with a knife. That's what it is. But it's overhand, though. That evening, the rain has ceased, and Chibi is looking out for Usagi, who has not returned. She thinks, is she still mad? She's not going to try to crash another pie eating contest, is she? It's always death by chocolate, but it should be suicide by chocolate. Shouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Are we saying TGI Fridays is a suspect in this case?
I didn't shove that chocolate in your mouth.
Chibi goes looking for Okuko, and she sees that Mom is going through some family photos. She's got the shoebox out. Mm-hmm. Oh, the 90s.
I know, right?
You see, kids, family photos were these squares, and they existed in real life. And you always kept them in a shoebox for some reason.
Right.
Chibi picks up a picture and says, look at this funny face. Who is this? And Mom says, that's a picture of Usagi when she was born. She tried to eat her own afterbirth.
Oh, stop it.
She loves food, I'm telling you.
No.
What about this? Oh, that's her playing a rabbit in a kindergarten play. And this one is from her first day of grade school. She looks just like you, Chibiusa. And Chibiusa's like reaching for Luna P. Like me? That's crazy. Come on, Hypno Umbrella, come on. Remember, there's a secret ad here, right?
Yes, yes.
No, Chibi thinks, all these pictures of Usagi, but no pictures of me. Or her dad.
Yeah.
Come on, show. You don't have to pay ink. Ikuko says, these are records of my dream. My dream that you all grow up healthy and strong and without creepy horses living in your heads. This one is my favorite. We see a picture of the whole family. Finally. There's the whole family with Dad. Dad's face scratched out.
Stop.
Unless there's a backstory there. Everybody and Chibiusa's there too. Mm-hmm. She says, Ikuko says, to have photos of you and Usagi in wedding dresses in the family album is my biggest dream. Mm-hmm. How would she feel about both of them in the same picture with Mamo? Because that's what Chibi's about right now.
Yeah, I know.
Tokyo, West Virginia.
Oh, boy.
Apologies to West Virginia listeners. Beautiful country, beautiful people. This is exactly what Chibi needed to hear. And she says, I'm sorry I ate all the pie. And Usagi ran away, by the way. But Ikuko says, oh, she'll be back when she's hungry. Now that is parenting. In downtown Juban, Usagi is just sitting on a guardrail. Probably pretty hungry.
Oh, man, I'm so hungry. Only 2 steaks for dinner. Didn't get to finish my orange. All the frozen yogurt places were closed. Ugh.
Yeah, just sulking.
She remembers Ami's words that Chibi is separated from her parents. Again, sort of.
Right.
And she's just doing her best, and she thinks, I should go home. Dinner's probably ready by now.
Big buttery moon up there. Sidewalk kind of looks like ice cream if you squint hard. Stairs look like cake.
In another part of town, Ikuko and Chibi are heading home through the park with a bunch of lemons. Mm-hmm. She says, we can bake a bunch of pies, and Usagi will smell them and come home. One time I made fudge, and she came through the wall like a cartoon character. But from the bushes, we see Hawkeye watching them. He thinks, she's got a kid, so she's unavailable. Won't be clingy. Perfect.
Oh, my God.
It's like that movie About a Boy, right?
Uh-huh.
Where Hugh Grant pretends that he's got an imaginary kid.
Right.
So he can go to single mothers being strong together meetings.
Yes.
And pick up the hot single moms.
Yeah.
But then he knows that like, oh, yeah, I don't know if like it's good for Philip to have, you know, he knows that he could find a million ways to just like pull the ripcord and get out of there if he wants to.
It's terrible.
Well, hot guy.
Oh, my God.
He snaps his fingers and the bag of lemons tears and they go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The girls go to pick them up and up runs. Look, I won't belabor it. It's Hot Guy, but he's in like casual clothes and a backpack. Yes. He looks like a student.
Yeah.
And he goes to pick up the lemons and his hand touches Akuko's and he's like, Mommy. Oh my God, no. No. Akuko's like,
I know.
What the f-?
Yeah, I know.
But he's like, no, you just look like my mother who I was separated from at birth. This is my only photo. And he reaches into his pocket where there's nothing, and he summons a locket.
I know.
And the picture in it is just some lady. I mean, I guess it kind of looks like a cuckoo, like the same hairstyle. You know, a lady, lipstick, a lady, you know. You look like her.
Right.
You look like the lady.
Yes.
He says, I've traveled thousands of miles in search of Mommy. I thought my journey was over, but... And look, we have to have an episode here, but... These two don't know a put on when they see it.
I know.
Chibi seems sympathetic, but she should be thumbing the hammer of her 45 right now. Ikuko, long-suffering Ikuko, asks, what was her name? 0 guesses.
Uh-huh.
He says, Ikuko, Nikolaevich de Brabrakki.
Uh-huh.
Okay, too granular. Keep your con simple.
Yeah, right.
I think Brabrakki can go up with Youzetaru for 0 SEO words.
Probably.
Youzetaru Brabrakki is my Kaiser Soze. I'm going to say that's who did it. It was Youzetaru Brabrakki.
Oh my gosh.
He's like a ghost.
Oh my gosh.
Hawkeye says, sorry I made a mistake, but just for someone as young and as beautiful as you. Guess who liked that? I still think that Chibi could take care of this, you know?
I know.
45. Luna P can become a chainsaw.
Luna P can become anything.
Cops find him in the bushes with a lemon in his mouth.
Oh my gosh.
The lemon killer strikes again.
No.
Anyway, just to bait the hook all the way, Hawkeye pretends to faint.
Uh-huh.
That's a classic move there.
I know.
Classic seducer move.
Oh gosh.
He says, sorry, I haven't eaten in a while. I wanted to eat Mommy's Hari Hari pickles one last time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, what you do with your mom is your own business.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? I don't want to hear about Mom's pickles. Chibi says, I'll go buy some pickles to go with this ham.
See, that would have been funny.
On the street. Yeah, she was a little skeptical.
I know.
On
Right?
the
It would have been great.
Yeah, you got 2 characters, right? Use both characters.
I
Don't have them
agree.
both be like, oh, right? Have Mom be really into it. And then sending Chibi out, and Chibi's like kicking a rock, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because later she runs into Usagi on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And Usagi's like, what are you doing out? And Chibi's like, me? What about you? I need pickles. Back in the park. Oh, that's a ridiculous banana.
Yeah.
Back in the park, and Kuko is checking on HG, and he grabs her hand, and he says, I've always longed for ladies as kind as you. I've got an entire season of this ahead of me, so
I know.
Pity me. Just then, Usagi and Chibi come back, and they're like, whoop, and they run into the bushes. Tokyo, get rid of all bushes. Just get rid of them. HG says, it's not coincidence that we met. And Usagi's like, Mama's having an affair?
Oh my gosh.
HG says, such a kind person must have a beautiful dream. And as he leans in, he scowls. He snaps his fingers, and a purple Afghan conceals his change into a circus togs. And 1, 2, 3, Akuko is on the board. Her mirror comes out of her chest, and Chibi says, oh, let's transform. And they do. HG grabs Akoku's dream mirror, but we hear, hold it! Evil guys tapping into the recesses of the heart of a housewife who raises children and trying to trick them? We'll punish you! Hawkeye says, so you're like the Sailor Senshi, huh? Okay. Come here, Lemur. Human cannonball, Dokanko. And out of his shadow forms, Bulletgirl. This is almost exactly a palette-swapped version of the DC character Bulletgirl.
Oh, okay.
Just with, the bullet bra we'd expect from Sailor Moon.
Right.
Deadly titties.
Oh my gosh.
Dokanko immediately starts cleaning her huge cannon.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
And she jumps into it, and Sailor Moon and Chibi are like, okay, where's this going? And they watch as Dokanko lights her fuse and counts down from 5 and launches herself at them. And they're like, oh my God, she launched herself at us.
I know.
But a Venus Love Me chain wraps around Moon and Chibi and pulls them out of the blast zone. The Sailor Scouts and, what the hell, Tuxedo Mask are here. HG says, he must have like a text alert or something like that when this stuff like this is happening.
He must.
She left the house. HG says, okay, take them all out. And Doko from her crater says, hi, and runs back to her cannon. Everybody just watching it happen.
I know.
Counts down from 5 again and launches herself at them. Jupiter gives with a sparkling wide pressure, but Doko blasts right through it and everyone scatters. And Doko springs up and says, damn you all, stop dodging. HG turns back to the captive Ikuko and says, let's get this road on the show. I just noticed his safety pin earrings.
Okay.
Yeah, safety pin. So maybe there is like a punk thing going on this season.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't think Fisheye has like. I'll have to look at Fisheye's.
We'll get to Fisheye
again.
when we get to Fisheye.
Yeah.
But it's like these guys are total posers. So it's like a fake punk thing. Like the Clash.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I think I can hear people cursing me from here.
Whoa.
No, like the Police or Billy Idol.
Sure.
Look, I love the Police and Billy Idol.
Yeah.
But I'll be the first to say, guys, you're not punk.
Not really.
So it doesn't matter how many spike collars or how light you bleach your hair. You're not punk. Maybe I should call this guy Silly Idol.
You can do that.
I'm going to call him Silly Idol.
All right.
Anyway, Chibi runs up to interfere. Just then, Doko fires again. No countdown this time. And she BTFOs Chibi, who goes flying.
Yeah.
Silly Idol gets ready to look into Akuko's mirror, but Big Sugar Heart Attack makes him go, oh. Chibi, who looks pretty good for being blown up, says, get away from Mama Akuko. Secret identity, Chibi.
I know.
Secret identity.
I know.
I won't let you lay a finger on her. And HG says, you noisy brat. And he rears back to smack her, but spear! Sailor Moon knocks into him, sending him flying. Usagi says to Chibi, let's protect our mama. HB kips up, but hold that thought. Whoo! We get a moon spiral heart attack, straight at Hawkeye. Classic Sailor Moon-esque. But he just blocks the beam with his hand. Pushes him back a little bit, a little furrow in the dirt. He's fine. Sailor Moon's like, what's up? HG produces a torch, and he breathes fire at Sailor Moon and Chibi. Little of the old circus arts.
Yeah.
Sending them flying, and Doko blasts the other Senshi. Nice standing around, guys. And they are tossed like rag dolls. And HB says, okay then, give me a dream. And he sticks his head into Koku's mirror, and he's like, Nope, not there. He literally goes like the voice actor. He's like, no. Kill them all. As Doko gets back in her cannon, she's going to finish the job. She points herself directly at the helpless Ukuko. Sailor Moon staggers to her feet and says, oh, I don't think so. And Chibi in her mind thinks, come on, Pegasus. Come on, give us the power to be strong. A bright light appears in the sky, and the voice of Pegasus says, only your heart that is trying to protect beautiful dreams can call for me. I knew when that hotline bling. That can only mean one thing.
Oh my God.
That Millie Bobby is screening him.
Oh my God.
So Drake's not... Look up Drake. Not a great guy.
Yeah.
He says, I'll give you my powers. But I'm a little busy right now. I'm at an oat tasting. See, I can do clean material.
Yeah, sure.
What's a horse doing in his free time? He's at an oat tasting.
Of course.
Sailor Moon.
Of course he is.
I'm on some grass.
I'm eating an apple.
It's delicious. Sailor Moon and Chibi's brooches. Oh, we're not doing that again. Brooches glow, and they grow wings.
Yeah.
And the jewels on them change. And he says, now call out as I tell you to. Moon Crisis Makeup. Chibi says, say Moon Crisis Makeup. And Usagi's like, what? Why? Just do it. Double transform! Ah, yeah! New song and everything. And Super Sailors Moon and Chibi appear. Pegasus says, I just got off the phone with Bandai. You're going to need some new weapons. Here's the Kaleida Moonscope and the Crystal Caroline. And their moon scepters turn into the key-like weapon that we've seen before and a bell that's on a heart-shaped loop. Take whichever, I guess. And say my name. Bye. Chibi clasps her hands together and says, please, Pegasus, protect everyone's dreams. And she raises her Caroline and says, twinkle yell! With a twinkle yell! Silly idol, you see?
Yes.
Pegasus appears! What was he doing on the phone before? This bit doesn't make any sense.
I'm here.
Chibi says, now Sailor Moon, Moon Gorgeous Meditation! And as Doko prepares to launch a final time, we see the new attack animation. Sailor Moon does some, whoa, wow. So she's like the Star Wars kid. She's doing some kata.
Yes!
She's doing kata with her Keyblade.
Yes!
And from a kaleidoscope-like scene, she fires a beam of light that breaks into shards and stages out. And Dokanko turns into shards too. Silly Idol says, you've got a lot of power. It's a real shock to the system. I got to save the good stuff for later. We got to go a long way with this. I'm out of here. And he disappears through a ring of feathers, which is still a thing.
Yes.
Ukuko's freed. She drops to the ground. Pegasus says, when you need me, raise your Caroline and call my name, and I'll be there. You got a friend. I'm a big JT fan. The real JT kids, James Taylor. And he disappears. And Usagi's like, wow, you seem to know that horse really well, Chibi. What's up?
I know.
Later, everyone is enjoying some lemon pie. Forget being assaulted in the park. Pie!
Yeah, I know.
What does she think happened?
No idea.
Sometimes I buy too many lemons and I pass out.
Oh my gosh.
I wake up and there's pie. Usagi says, hey, Chibi, you have a bigger slice than me. Let's trade. But Chibi says, no. Usagi says, I'm in a growth spurt. And Chibi says, yeah, sideways. Classic.
I know.
Mako, some more wisdom, some Mako moments. Mako says, hey, they're basically the same. And Mamoru says, yeah, it's hard to cut 10 even slices. And Ami says, actually, if you cut them at 36 degrees. And Mina says, why do I hang out with you nerds? And everybody starts arguing. But Ukuko says, quiet! I will put strychnine in the tea, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh.
How does it taste? And everyone says, oishi! And Usagi says, hey, Chibi, your mom in the future or Ukuko? Who's better? And Chibi says, obviously, both. More, please. But Usagi, his button is still going. It's one of those buttons from the 70s that takes up half your chest.
The only scary thing about a one-armed man trying to scare someone is the fact that
he feels that his one arm is good for nothing but trying to scare somebody.
It's upside down.
Usagi says, hey, the rest is for Mama, Papa, and Jingo. And Chibi says, I'll say that you ate them. Classic.
I know.
Whenever something's going on, whenever we do the eye catch about 10 minutes in, maybe 9.
Yeah.
And then the final bit goes on for about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Baby, baby love is my reward.
There you go.
You know, do it for her. And then like Chibi sitting on a hill is my one picture.
Aww.
I'm just doing this to get to baby, baby love.
It is a nice song.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What don't you know?
Well, first of all, I love that Pegasus got so bored, he just like powered them up. He's like, you do it. Like, how did they... Wait a minute. I got a million questions.
Yeah.
First of all, just practical. Did they get the timing wrong for the toy launch? Did Bandai say they're not going to be ready for the premiere?
No.
So just have them like fart around and like somehow magically do stuff for 2 episodes, and then the horse will go, here's your stuff. Here's a thing that you already had, but now you've got it.
I don't know why they decided to do
That's
it
what
that
I'm
way.
asking.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they decided to do it that way. I think they thought maybe...
This is a TV show. It's planned out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Here's a comics thing. Comics fudge first appearances all the time.
Sure.
So the first appearance of Wolverine, sorry, Batman, maybe the most famous character in comics, was like the last panel maybe, of a different comic.
Sure.
Oh, crap. I'm a bad comic fan.
You can't
It
remember.
was Hulk, right? It was Hulk. It was
Hulk.
Hulk, I don't know, 181 or something like that.
Sure.
And that's part of that's a tease, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a collector and I want the first appearance of Wolverine, you think you're going to get like a story or we're going to find out about a lot about Wolverine. No, it's just a guy going "Meow" with like claws. That's all. That's the first appearance.
Sure.
They did this with like Gambit, another famous character. Apocalypse is an X-Men character. And in like the first couple issues of X Factor, they were going to have like this secret villain. And I think my story is going to be messed up here. It was either was Apocalypse or it was going to be Apocalypse. And it was like Dr. Claw. We saw the guy from the back. He had a turtleneck, clearly a human.
Yeah.
Later on, we see who it is, and it's Apocalypse. A guy with like the big lips and the blue and the hoses and everything. You know, it looks like he lost a fight with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
So they had no idea what they were doing. Like this happens in like a monthly sort of medium. But you draw all these, you plot it all, you know what you're going to do. Why not have them just like struggle to beat like 2 guys?
I think that would have been
And then the
better.
horse shows up and gives them new toys.
Instead of like showing Sailor Moon's new item and then like being like, oh, well,
look, kid,
you kind of had it before.
I have kind of a busy lifestyle. I don't need to be here. Just take it. Take a new gem.
You got a taste before,
take
but
this
here's
bell.
the real thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. First killing is free.
Yeah, right.
And how does... I guess maybe I'll find out. But like, I always want to know how their power works. They're moon aliens, so they've got magic. But then like later, it's like, no, but also it's like, it has to do with butterflies. And like now it's like, no, a space horse it has a USB. Like, how does the power adapting work? Let me do this to your pre-existing magical amulet. Will give what is clearly like an evolution of that power to a higher level. And my power works with your power because it's the same power, but it can't be. Because there were some elf trees, tree elves from space before.
I think a lot.
I'm the only person charting this, right?
Yes.
I'm going to take my big board down here. I'll just take this down.
I think this is just a hand
Turns out there is no Pepe Sylvia.
This is a hand wavy part of Sailor Moon. Just don't think about it. Stuff is of course different in the manga. I won't get into it.
All right.
But I don't think that a whole lot of progressive thought went into this is how their powers work and this is where it comes from. And
it's funny you should say that. Let's talk about progressive thought. Permission to treat the series as hostile.
Permission granted.
Okay. Can we talk about how I think that this series ultimately is going to turn out to be a catalog of ways to gaslight women? It's the gaslight season.
Wow.
Now look, I know that's look, my banner rallying cry for everything is I get it. It's fiction. These are fake characters. They're not real people.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can write something in such a way that is like, oh, I don't really like that. Right.
Yes.
But I get that it's like, it can be instructive. Also, we can see our characters like triumph over this. Any story about a woman being victimized and then either like coming back morally or I don't know, just cutting the guy's head up with a chainsaw. We like stories like that. There's value in stories like that. But it's just like, if, for instance, you just were like, oh, so you can like lie to women, huh? And if you just watch the first half of all these episodes, you would have like 39 really interesting ways to... Like, maybe you can't get a horse from somewhere, but like the lemon trick, you could do the lemon trick at home. That's just what we're watching. And I really want...
I mean, you put it that way.
And if you did it, I don't know, maybe we're just making the metaphor too explicit. Literal, let's say literal. Mm-hmm. But I really want them to be stopped from looking in the mirrors.
I want them to be too.
Especially, and again,
I don't like
maybe we don't need to make it too precious. Maybe we're taking the metaphor a little too far. But if there's nothing in there, then just stop them. Have them, that be death. If their head goes in there, it's death. And you know, and they die or whatever. And so we stop them from doing it. So at least there's this threshold that is stopped from being crossed. You know what I mean? But instead they just take this like pleasure, you know.
Yeah, I think that's...
in it happening.
I think what really bothers me is it's horrific for, I'm just going to call them victims because they are, and it's pleasurable for...
well, sometimes it's pleasurable, and other times it's like,
no, not in there. Yeah. But I honestly, it really rubs me the wrong way.
Well, that's a fake thing. Mm-hmm. A mirror, a dream mirror inside of you. Here's a real thing. Two kids, I mean, very technically, Usagi is an adult as far as the government's concerned. But like she's in high school. She's a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two kids thinking that their mom is having an affair with somebody in the park. I know that that's played for comedy, but there's some like real world. This is like scarring, especially for Chibi. Yeah. Chibi's very precocious, but at the same time, you either really play it up, like you make an entire farce out of it, or you make it kind of like a little bit serious and you move on real fast. Yeah, right. But they're kind of like having their cake and eating it. But I don't think that it works.
I don't think it works either. I don't think they're saying anything either way. And I honestly...
And then later, like when she like, hold it, her speech is just like, don't leave this lady alone. Yeah. I know that later on, apparently their secret identities don't matter unless Hawkeye is going to take this information back and think about this, you know, the clues. But like, it's funny if she's like, leave that lady alone. She might make really good lemon pie. And maybe
that would be funny.
I won't have any clean underwear if you kill her. You know,
right.
Have a layer below.
Yes.
But instead, she just treats it like she's just a stranger, like it usually is every episode. Like, this is their mother.
I know. It should have been different. And I'm really also disappointed in. I know that this is traditional, and this is something that we see in a lot of portrayals of mom in media, especially in the 90s. And this is also Japan, so they tend to be a little bit more traditional in their views of...
What are you doing out of the kitchen?
Yes. And that her biggest dream is... I mean, of course you want your family to be healthy and happy, but her biggest dream is for her family to be happy and healthy. I would like for her to have dreams of her own, first of all. And second of all, she also talks about how her biggest dream is to have photos of Usagi and Chibiusa in their wedding dresses.
Well, you know.
I know, but it's like there's no mention of Shingo getting married.
Right, yeah, I know. It's not like, here's a photo of Usagi and Chibi on the moon because they are astronauts like Barbie.
Well, right.
They can do anything.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like it's... And I don't know if it would be the same way today,
Shingo.
But...
Nobody cares about Shingo. Shingo's parents don't care about Shingo.
Apparently not.
He exists in his own world.
But yeah, I guess that kind of bothered me. And I just feel like the whole plot of this particular episode, like you were saying, it's their mom. It's Ikuko Mama. And like, they could have made it more interesting. They could have made it more personal. I like the lemon pie stuff, but let's do more than just her cooking. You know what I mean? For her family. Let's personalize
So you want okay, so I'm just guessing. We might never see her again after this, but this will almost definitely be the only time we see her this season. You wanted her to like be going back to school or something like that, or health scare. That's a good one.
Not health scare. Oh my gosh.
And then the doctor gaslights her.
No.
That it's worse than okay. Yeah, that's terrible. You know what's terrible?
What?
That Chibi's power is begging for a man's help. Literally getting on her knees, clasping her hands, and begging a male character to save her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Baby love.
Yeah. Wow.
Can our show survive an entire season of me crapping on this cartoon? Find out by listening to Sailor Noob. Backtracking is back for an all-new season. Hi, I'm Caliban.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
And we'd like to introduce you to Backtracking, the podcast that explores the real-world inspirations behind your favorite episodes of Star Trek.
From historical events to classical literature to blockbuster films, we go where no pod has gone before to seek out the origins of classic Trek tales.
Did you know, Gooey, that the TNG episode Too Short a Season was an allegory for the Iran-Contra affair?
Yeah, only sweatier. Did you know that the Enterprise episode Regeneration was an homage to the John Carpenter film The Thing?
Archer and T'Pol freezing to death over a bottle of whiskey would have been a controversial ending.
As a dog lover, Archer would not like The Thing, I'm guessing.
Oh my god, movie night is canceled. Join us every other Thursday for a journey back to the beginnings of the Trek universe.
Backtracking is available wherever you get your podcasts.
No, Porthos!
Today for Kyoro Kyoro Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, we're going to talk about onomatopoeia words in Japanese.
What?
Yes!
I was like, circus stuff, fire breathing maybe.
Uh-huh.
Bells? Lemon pies.
Lemon pies, yeah.
Onomatopoeia.
I will explain. So we were talking about onomatopoeia words in Japanese because it's directly related to this episode's lemur, and we will get into the specifics of that when we get to Villain Gauge. But it is directly related. The Japanese language has thousands of sound symbolic or mimetic words known in linguistics as idiophones. Such words are used in written as well as spoken Japanese, known popularity as onomatopoeia. These words are not just imitative sounds, but cover a much wider range of meanings. Many sound symbolic words in Japanese are for things that don't make any noise, which is most clearly demonstrated by the term silently, Shinto. Not to be confused with the religion Shinto. So that is the sound for something that is silent.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Just adding a new stanza to my Who's on First bit here.
Yes.
Japanese.
Exactly.
Shinto. Yeah, I'm very devout. No, Shinto.
So, yes.
Oh, Torii Gate's over there?
Shinto. So the E sound is elongated, and in the religion, the O sound is elongated.
Or if you're Michael Sheen and your toes,
yes,
you take off your shoes,
right?
Shinto.
Yeah. Okay. In other words, onomatopoeia are terms that depict sounds. Some examples in English are bam, woof, creak, and sizzle. The most important difference between the use of onomatopoeia in Japanese and English is the lack of variety in Japanese verbs. In English, there are more verbs that convey different subtleties.
Huh.
For example, in English, we can use the following verbs to specify the act of looking: to watch, to see, to gaze, to stare, to glance, or to observe. However, in Japanese, there are simply less verbs in the language, which directly correlates to a lack of nuance. This is where onomatopoeia terms can be included to deepen and clarify the meaning. Japanese onomatopoeia can be put into 5 different categories. Jiseigo are sounds made by animals or humans, and then those are voiced sounds. Gyango, what?
There's like living things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like living things.
What's left? There's 4 more categories?
Yes.
All right.
Gyango are sounds made by nature or inanimate objects. Gitago are words that describe states or conditions.
What? That doesn't make noise. A condition doesn't make noise.
No, it doesn't. There are 3 categories that don't make actual noises.
Who made the categories?
The Japanese. Gyogo are words that describe movements. And Gijogo are words that describe feelings.
Doki doki.
Actually, doki doki.
Which category is organs?
Yeah. Doki doki is actually gyongo because I guess that's a nature sound. It's a heartbeat or something like that. So yeah. But all of these categories start with the syllable gi and the corresponding kanji means mimic. Which I think is really interesting.
Hold on. You might not have the answer to this.
I might not.
But this is so formal.
Yeah.
Did the Japanese not have onomatopoeia until a certain point, and then they went, we need some onomatopoeia? This feels like a conlang almost. Like it's so formal in its structure. We're going to have 5 categories. Every single one of them is going to have one thing that denotes that it's a thing, and it's gi noise or whatever, and then the noise is boom. Like, that's so crazy.
Languages don't have an answer to that.
Languages don't form that way. Do you know what I mean? Unless they're in complete isolation, I guess.
Maybe that's part of it.
Look, the cow goes gi moo, and that's just the way it is. That's category number 1. We know this.
Right.
It's like a computer did this.
I know. So
speak and spell in Japanese is crazy.
Oh my gosh. So the first 2 categories, Giseigo and Gyongo are exactly like the onomatopoeia that we have in English. They symbolize actual sounds that you can hear. The last 3 categories,
as opposed to sounds you can't hear.
Yes.
The sound of one hand clapping. We've got it. Finally.
Yeah, right. The last 3 categories are what known as mimetic words or idiophones, and they describe or symbolize something that doesn't have a sound. These 3 categories of mimetic words, of course, don't exist in English, which makes learning them very challenging. This is compounded by the fact that a lot of these terms are established deeply in logic and ideas that are innately Japanese.
Okay, you're not so special. Come on.
Additionally, onomatopoeias in Japanese language follow an incredibly similar pattern and can sound almost identical, even though they are utilized in very different circumstances.
Wait, the sound of being very frustrated with how loud somebody's being on the train or something? What's so purely Japanese about it?
I think
the sound of finding out there's no plum at the bottom of your train bento. Like, what are we talking about here?
We'll get into some examples in a little bit.
Okay. Can't wait.
That being said, Japanese onomatopoeia are an extraordinarily essential part of Japanese culture, and learning how to use them correctly in conversations will deepen your connection to native Japanese speakers.
And to star in the Japanese version of Chicago.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Pop.
Lipschitz.
Yeah, they're coming.
Gijogo, the category of onomatopoeia that describes feelings, are especially important and crucial to learn because this is one of the main ways that Japanese people express their feelings. Speakers of languages with mimetic words, such as Japanese, frequently talk about how the mimetic terms produce a very dynamic image or feeling in their heads, whereas other words don't have the same effect. In other words, it's just very visual way of speaking and writing.
Okay, all right. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah. Aside from the Japanese onomatopoeia utilized in regular speech and writing, the mimetic terms are used in manga in a distinctive way. These terms are similar to sound effects that appear in American comics, such as pow, blam, boom, etc.
Okay.
When manga are translated into another language, these words are frequently kept in Japanese and are often a part of the drawings.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can tell from the way that they're written, like what kind of feeling they're trying to evoke.
Yeah. So I feel like I know the answer. But
Okay.
when American comics are translated in Japanese, they probably just also leave the blams and the shoots.
They might.
dupes
Yeah.
and the-
Yeah.
You know, as a comics reader,
Yeah.
I don't want to be treated any differently.
All right.
You don't see a lot of the onomatopoeia visually anymore.
I
The
could
days
see it, yeah.
of the pops and the blams and the schwas, I don't know what that is. It's kind of over.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll see them, but like comics are like for big boys now. I guess that was too silly.
It is kind of silly, but you know, I'm just constantly reminded of the 60s live action Batman show.
Yeah,
Every time.
Well, maybe that was the goose that OD'd on
Maybe,
gold.
but I always loved it when it was included in that, you
I mean,
know?
A snikt, a thwip, that's about as much as you're going to get now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same. It's not the same.
No.
Things have changed.
It's changed.
Yeah. Gisego, which are sounds made by animals or humans, I'm going to get into some examples now. So here's some examples. So a crow in Japanese, this is the sound a crow makes. Ka, ka. It's ka, ka. So that translates.
All right.
And a dog goes wan, wan.
Okay, now we're moving off the reservation a little bit.
Yeah, I never understood that
Ka
one.
is the minus 40 of Fahrenheit and Celsius between our two languages.
Yeah,
we can
right.
all agree on that.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Now we're moving out of the territory here. A frog goes kero kero.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And this is where the Sanrio character Keropi gets his name. His full name is Kero Kero Keropi. So it's like Ribbit Ribbit and then kind of a variation on that.
Johnson.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We all know Ribbit Ribbit Johnson.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And what the hell? A fox, which goes cone cone.
What's the thing where you pull the string and the thing goes around and the fox goes cone cone?
I know exactly what you're
fun.
talking about. Yes. These
Foxes don't make any sounds.
I know.
Somebody sat down and did this. I'm going to find this guy. Somebody sat down and went, well,
Oh.
every animal's got to make a sound.
Yeah.
So the fox goes,
Cone.
cone, cone.
You know what a turtle makes? The sound a turtle makes?
Nothing?
Moo.
Oh. Like MU.
Yes. So we also have sounds in this category that humans make. So cheerful or loud laughter is ohaha.
All right.
That seems to work.
Sure.
And the sound of being lectured or nagged by someone above you is gami gami.
Whoa. All right, now we're getting esoteric.
Yeah. A lot of these get us.
Man, I was just getting so much gami
Yeah.
for my boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Gyongo, so sounds made by nature and inanimate objects. So still in the territory of English onomatopoeia here. Louder or faster than normal heartbeat, typically caused by excitement, love, or fear. Say it with me.
Doki
Doki.
Yep.
Yes.
Panic.
Running at full speed is ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Okay, we don't have something for that, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
A lot. See, there are thousands and thousands of onomatopoeia that they have. Even for sounds that you hear, they have words or terms that we don't have.
Okay.
So, yeah. The sound of cloth lightly flapping in the wind is pata pata. Yes.
The sound of a baby realizing that his mother will die one day.
Right.
It's goop goops. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. The sound of suddenly bursting into flames is
on. I want to get a pen. I'm going to need to use this later. All right. Hit me.
Okay, it's mera mera. So that's MERA MERA.
Well, that way you have it.
Yep. You never know. You got to write it down.
Yeah.
Gitaigo, these are words that describe states or conditions. So the sound that describes a glint in your eyes is gira gira.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're all like doubled up.
Most of them are.
Huh.
Not all of them are, but a lot of them are. And that's another reason why a lot of them sound so similar is it's like double. And it's like, well, was it these two syllables or was it these? Yeah.
We have a ting or, like an eye flash or like the tooth flash, the ting, the smile.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There was that. So that's a good point. The sound that describes warm body or warm food is hoka hoka.
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Do these predate like manga or
Yes.
ukiyo-e or visual arts? Because these all would be very useful in telling a story.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that like when
I don't know. I don't actually know.
when a character sits down with their tea, there's a little oka like above the cup, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is hot. Where we
Right.
have like heat lines or something like that.
I don't actually know the answer to that.
God, the
and I
Japanese
wish I
version of
did.
understanding comics is like a 12-volume series.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
I should look that up. See if that exists.
That would be really interesting, actually.
It probably exists.
Yeah. And the sound that describes soaking slowly with sweat or tears is jinwari. You gotta specify.
Any other bodily fluids?
Yeah, I know, right? Gyogo, words that describe movements. So the word that describes wandering aimlessly is uro. The word that describes trembling from cold, fear, or anger is buru. And the word that describes looking around curiously or nervously is kyoro.
Yay!
Pleasant kyoro miru. So there you go.
Pack
It's
it
an
up.
onomatopoeia.
We did it.
Yeah. And then the last category, gijogo, which again are words that describe feelings. So, and some people feel probably the most important category.
Huh.
Worrying about the past or trivial things is kuyo. Worrying or wondering what to do. So this is a different word that has to do about worrying, but it's worrying or wondering what to do.
Uh-huh.
Is moya. Being fascinated by something beautiful or being spellbound is uttori. So yeah. There are some onomatopoeia that I think that that people have heard besides Doki Doki. That's probably one of the most well-known ones. But another one that is widely used is peko. And peko represents the state of being hungry and can also represent the state of an item being dented or a person acting in a submissive or ingratiating way. So there's multiple meanings here.
Wait. Now there's multiple meanings?
For some words.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's why I'm including this example. Not for every word, but in some words, with some words, yes. And some words can be they can be changed into a verb. It gets complicated. So we're not getting into all of that. But most frequently, peko is found in the phrase onaka ga peko desu, which translates to I'm starving.
Also, I'm dented.
Well,
I'm kind of subservient.
I'll get to that a little bit. So looking at the meanings of peko all together, the phrase onaka ga peko desu can be literally translated as my stomach is empty and so it is dented.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
My stomach's touching my spine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. So There's definitely like a visual. I mean, it's Japanese. They tend to be very visual.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're also it's has a lot to do with like feeling. I feel like too, and like how the words like make you feel. And like
language.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That is true. With Japanese kana, we've talked about this a little bit before, but just as a refresher, with Japanese kana, there are two kinds of marks that change the sounds of kana characters. The dakuten are two small lines that are also known as tenten, and the handakuten is an open circle that is also known as maru. These symbols alter the voicing of consonants that they are added to. So voice consonants are created basically when you're with your vocal cords, and unvoiced are created without them, is kind of like a basic way of thinking about it. Sure. Voicing is key to understanding Japanese onomatopoeia. There are many sets of onomatopoeia they can be viewed as sets that symbolize different sounds built upon their counterpart of voiced or unvoiced consonants. So the voiced version is always heftier, louder, and more intense than its unvoiced counterpart. Okay. And here are some examples. Sada is silky versus zala, which is rough.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tone is tapping versus don, which is drumming. Hala is fluttering versus bala, rustling versus pala, clattering.
Oh my God.
I know. This is one of the things I remember about learning Japanese is we had a section on onomatopoeia and my eyes just glazed over because I was like, how am I ever? But researching this, it's like, well, I wish I'd worked a little bit harder at it because this is so important. But it's incredibly overwhelming.
Is it important? What if you learned everything but the sounds? And they're like, oh, he doesn't know sounds. That's okay. No, I mean, he can still. I'm sorry, I don't know sounds. Do you hear the bell made sound? It did what? Did you hear that dog talking the other day?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just talking.
I think you would really impress Japanese people, and you'd probably be able to express
nobody would ever know you were hungry.
Yeah, well,
you would starve to death.
You can say onaka. So without using onomatopoeia, they call it textbook Japanese, or it can be called textbook Japanese because it's more formal than using onomatopoeia.
Yeah, but you're like, this guy's talking like a scroll here.
Right. Like using onomatopoeia, I think, is more conversational. Yeah. Like, because...
yeah, everybody's always just beeping and booping and bopping. Bada bing,
bada bang. So, like, the textbook way of saying I'm hungry is onaka ga suita. Like, I remember that, and I remember learning that, and I can say that. I have to think about onaka ga peko does for some reason. I don't know why, because onaka ga suita is ingrained. That's why. So, but altering vowel sounds in onomatopoeia has an equal effect on changing the connotation of the term. For example, kan is clear clanging versus keen, which is a high-pitched clanging, versus kon, which is a low-pitched clanging.
All right, but that's a gimme, though.
Is it?
Just making a kon or a keen, like those are the different sizes of bells. Like you're literally changing the.
I mean, I guess
the size or of your mouth to make the sound.
So you think that makes more sense than changing the consonants, the voice or unvoiced?
I know, none of it makes sense.
Oh, okay.
It's insane.
Well, I was going to talk about to illustrate this example further. The following terms all have to do something, of course, with something hitting something. Sure. So. Kan is the sound of something hitting stone or metal. Keen is the sound of a musical triangle. And kon is the sound of something hitting something firm that has reverberation or is echoey sort of thing.
A drum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're ready with your one-man band now.
You are totally ready with your one-man band and describing all the sounds that the instruments
Japanese
make.
beatboxing. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Itadakimasu with usagi. What did usagi eat in this episode? So much food.
Yeah, a lot of food.
Ikoko Mama makes lemon pie in this episode twice, and of
this
course,
isn't anything special. This is like just a lemon.
This is just a
tart
lemon
sort of thing.
pie, yeah. And of course, Usagi is super upset because she doesn't get any. And I do like that they all get some at the end, and that's a really nice moment. When Usagi runs away, she meets the Senshi at Fruits Parlor Crown, and they all have an assortment of different drinks. And we learn at Crown that Chibi ate Usagi's. Not only did Chibi eat Usagi's lemon pie, she ate the strawberry chocolate bar that she was saving, her sumptuous rice crackers, or aka senbei, and her wasabi potato chips. And Usagi gets really upset over food, and Chibi has been pushing her to the brink of her limit, and I can just appreciate that.
The wasabi and the horseradish, that's a real thing, I guess.
Wasabi is technically
that is technically
horseradish. Yeah.
Those chips, I didn't know if they sounded really that appetizing. And like my translation was the over delicious.
Yes.
Crackers.
I think mine was sumptuous.
These crackers are too delicious.
They're too delicious. Oh, it could be either way, right?
I got them from China. These illegal crackers.
They're illegal. They're so delicious. But I can understand how she feels. Like, I get that way about food sometimes. Like, my mom tells this story about one time she heard this blood-curdling scream from the basement, and she thought, something awful had happened, or I had really badly injured myself, and she runs down the stairs and is like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "My fettuccine fell on the floor." So yeah, I'm with you, Usagi. I see you. Yeah. Okay. So in my translation, I guess Mako said food grudges can be scary. So
that makes even less sense.
Oh, I think it makes sense. Maybe it's because my siblings ate my food so much.
Oh, okay. But grudges over food.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They had that movie.
The what?
Itiraki Juan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, of course we see Mama and Chibi out getting lemons. So here's another fun little thing. They went to a store called Uru Mato, and uru is another onomatopoeia that means that you have tears in your eyes. Now, this is specifically you have tears in your eyes. This is not you're crying. This is not you have tears running down your cheeks. Those would be different onomatopoeias.
This is wet eyes.
Yeah, your eyes are welling up. So,
which makes a sound.
It does. And it is uru.
Aren't you just describing something that's happening in the world?
Yes.
Aren't you just describing a visual thing?
Yes.
Ah, the sunrise. That sound is this.
Yeah.
Gooby.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Isn't that just the sun rising?
It is. It totally is. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. Hawkeye says that he hasn't had anything to eat in a while, and he says that he wishes he could eat his mom's pickled radish, and specifically he says that he wants his mom's hari, which are thin dried strips of daikon that are soaked in vinegar and other flavors. I don't know what the other flavors are, but other flavors. Yeah.
So like a pickled vegetable.
Yeah.
Not like a cucumber pickle, but yeah.
Yeah, right. It's daikon, so yeah. Villain gauge, where you rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. So this is the first time we've seen Hawk's Eye have a lemur. That is a tongue twister. So many possessive S's. But I think it is interesting that we're switching it up a little bit, and instead of doing all of Tiger's Eye lemurs, we're switching it up.
Yeah. It's not like we just stick with one forever and then they die, and then eventually we run out of episodes and we just blow through a couple.
Yeah.
They're all going to get a shot here, at least in the first half.
Right. So I'm going to give them praise for that.
It took them 4 years to figure it out.
It sure did.
Well, I kind of did it in the Dark Kingdom a little bit.
A little bit. They did. That's true.
And in Sailor Moon R. a little bit.
I suppose they did a little bit in Sailor Moon R too, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was just last season, pretty much. Okay, never mind.
All right, whatever.
But anyways, all of I'm going to call him Hawkeye too. Hawkeye or Silly Idol. Silly Idol, all of his lemurs have names that end in the character Ko, as well as Tiger's Eyes lemurs, which is, again, is a reference to Japanese girls' names that end with Ko, which means child. Hokusai, however, uses the honorific of San instead of Chan, which Tiger's Eye used, to address his lemurs, which is more formal.
Huh.
Which also probably makes sense because he likes older women, we are told in this
Oh
episode.
my god.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways, the lemur in this episode is called Dokanko. And her name is as promised, is a reference to the onomatopoeia term dokan, which describes a loud booming noise like you would hear from a cannon. Dokan is a term that appears a lot in manga. For example, if fireworks are being set off, or if, pirates are shooting at each other with a cannon. So yeah, and Hokusai calls Dokan the human cannon, which makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
Because she basically is a human cannonball. And her design, her skin is white. She has 2 green diagonal wavy lines painted on her face and 2 green triangles that seem to be her eyebrows, long lavender nails, and her hair is an array of blonde pom-poms. Yeah. She is wearing a lavender leotard with 2 red diamonds on the front and black Madonna cone-shaped boobs. And she has jagged lavender wrist warmers, black knee pads with black calf shields for the back of her legs, and white long knee-high socks that have a frilly edge. In the front and back of her legs, she has 4 black cone-shaped projectiles, which you said you called her Bullet Lady. That is a perfect way of describing her. Or Bullet Girl, excuse me.
Right.
Sounds better. She has white furry ankle bracelets and lavender slip-on shoes, which are very practical, like the rest of her outfit. She is also wearing a pointed lavender helmet that has red diamonds on it and purple fins. It looks like a small rocket. And she just appears with a cannon, as you do.
Yeah, a big kind of, cartoonish cannon.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what you're really looking for here.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that they aren't just pom-poms. I think that because they kind of, they sort of spin around, I guess, when she gets shot out of the
do.
thing. But if you look at old-timey samurai and the first time that samurai used cannons in war. Yeah. They have these, I'm not sure, I think they're powder charges. That are wrapped up in cloth. So they're sort of packages or round kind of bits that are on a string.
Okay.
So maybe they're supposed to be
imitative of that.
Yeah.
Probably. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. I did look up because I was curious. I was I feel like cannonballs are all round, and from what I could tell,
depends.
But it seems really rare for them to be that pointy, like a bullet.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure there are pointy ones.
Yeah.
But it's about what you want it to accomplish.
Right.
So, for instance, if you're talking about a naval cannon, there's a lot of things that you want to do with a cannon. Sometimes you want to just shoot a round shot that's going to hurt the ship, put a hole in the ship. But there's things like chain shot, which is usually 2 little balls connected by a chain, and they can tangle up the rigging.
Okay.
Because if you can't, do the rigging on a ship, you can't steer. There's, grape shot, which is either to shoot holes in sails or like a shotgun. You want to blast across the deck and if you kill the people who are sailing the ship, then also the ship can't fight. So there's canister shot, which is just literally shooting a bomb full of rocks that will explode, and it's an anti-personnel type thing. Wow. So you can also use those, in a land cannon as well. So you might want to be using stuff like that.
Okay. That's interesting.
The bullet-shaped ones, yeah, I mean, I suppose. I don't know enough about cannons, I guess. I know that like a gun, like old-timey guns, when they first started using rifled bullets, that would be like that. And so the idea is that it isn't just a ball that's going to shoot out and hopefully hit somebody.
Right.
A shaped projectile will rotate and then it'll give it a longer range.
Right.
So they might have had that like at some point in, I don't know, the history of Japan.
Okay.
Wouldn't have been the first thing that they got off the Portuguese, probably.
Probably
just like
not.
a black powder musket type thing.
Right. So now we're up to our rating. I think that it's out there, but I kind of like her overall look. I think that her hair looks really cool. I do like it. I like it even more after your explanation of what it could be imitating. Even though it would make more sense for her maybe to have round shapes, I don't like a cannonball. I like that they really stuck with her design idea, and I think it still works. And I like how it takes a really long time for her to set up her attack, and she goes through the steps every time, and she is a human cannonball. I thought it was funny. I also really love the noise that she makes while she's doing her attack, and I think that she looks really cool as she spirals through the air. And I love that she yells, "Stop dodging, you guys." That was great. I enjoyed her, so I'm going to give her 4 out of 5 dark stars.
I like that she plugs her ears before she blows herself up.
Yeah, that's pretty great too.
I'd love to give her a 4, but I'm going to give her a 3.
That's fine.
I don't think we spend quite enough time with her, and if she wants a higher rating, she needs to be in a better episode. She mentioned the sort of Black Widow thing that she's got on her stomach too. She's got like an hourglass on her stomach.
The red diamonds.
Yeah,
I did mention the red diamonds, but
otherwise, like cool. This is a very like comic booky, or I suppose manga-y kind of design. She almost looks like a Gundam or something like that.
I know, yeah.
Got kind of Gundam coloring.
Yeah.
And I also like that. I don't think there's any good reason for it. She's just got like either green makeup on her face or like a green X on her face.
Yeah.
I don't know why. She's got like kind of ice blue lipstick for some reason. So these are interesting aspects.
Yeah.
All of which make her attractive, but probably just gonna go for the 3.
Sounds good.
I like that she has a personality. That's always good with me.
Yeah, that goes a long way with me.
But they don't do enough with her bit. Like, why does everybody... Maybe if it was so fascinating, or there was something... Maybe it plays a little tune and people are like, oh, it's a good song. Oh my God, she's shooting. Like, it's funny that they just stand there and watch, but it isn't like, come on, guys, get in there, do something.
I know. And it's not like it's one thing for like Sailor Moon and Chibi Moon to do that initially, but then like the rest of the gang shows up and Venus pulls them out of the way. So it's not even as if the Senshi and TM aren't aware of what's going to happen. And then they're just standing around and then it goes for them. No, they know.
Did you know that this Yoma or Lemur also appears in a Steven Spielberg movie?
I did. I was going to save that for the trivia.
Oh, okay. No, it's a villain. Talk now.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me go to my trivia. So yes, this particular episode was in the 2005 film War of the Worlds. And the composer of Sailor Moon, Takanori Arisawa, was credited at the end of the film.
Oh.
Yes. So in the film, a character is flipping through the TV channels and leaves it on a channel that is playing Sailor Moon for a little while. And the clip is of Sailor Moon completing her Moon Gorgeous meditation. And so the music that is credited is most likely the theme for that attack.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder who's behind that.
That is a really great question.
Josh Friedman was one of the screenwriters, and he's a big nerd, so maybe he likes Sailor Moon? I don't know.
Or he has a kid who likes Sailor Moon?
I think a man can like Sailor
Well, a man can like Sailor Moon.
Right.
That's true. Oh my gosh, a man can like Sailor Moon.
Or Steven Spielberg likes all kind of weird stuff too. Maybe he
true.
likes it. I don't know.
Yeah, he could like it.
Look, if you like it so much, okay, you're gonna ruin everything else, right? Ruin an anime.
Yeah, sure.
You know, make that live action Akira movie. Just have a Steven Spielberg movie, Akira.
Oh my gosh.
Do it.
I mean,
What can we lose at this
I'd
point?
see it. Yeah.
Honestly, what can we lose?
Okay.
All
I
right.
mean, fair enough. Take a bow or our rating on how our villains leave the stage of life. Dokanko is about to do her cannon attack again and is doing the 5-second countdown, but when she gets to 1, she realizes that something is wrong. She braces her hands in front of her eyes, her face, eyes wide, and yells, "Stage out!"
Yes.
I do think it's kind of similar to the first lemur that we saw, so I'm going to give this a 3.
Yeah, I'm getting a diminishing return on this. She's going to get a 3, mostly for the lead-in, because we get the full gorgeous meditation.
Yes.
And I like the way that it sort of, now it makes sense. It's like she shoots this thing out, it sort of turns into shards, then it, we do it is a cool thing, like the two mirrors that are maybe facing away but then sort of come together and like make the image of her, and then it pulls apart and it shatters, and a lot going on. But they don't, it's clearly just a still image of the bad guy with their mouth open and then stage out. So unless we get some kind of variations on this, they're going to start going down. But for now, it's a 3.
I agree.
I'll give it a 3.
I hope that there are variations in our future.
Come on, Pegasus. Give us variations in the future.
We're praying to you, Pegasus. Oh my gosh. So let's do our rating. I love Usagi's reaction when she sees that empty pie tin and asks where her piece of mom's lemon pie is. I like how upset Usagi gets over food and how no one around her really seems to understand why. I love the scene when Chibi is looking at all the family photos in Ikuko Mama with Ikuko Mama, and that Ikuko Mama's favorite photo is of the entire family, including Chibi. And I don't know if you caught this, but I love Chibi's reaction to Hokusai calling Ikuko mommy. Just complete and utter shock on her face, and I just wish we had seen more of that. I like how confused Sailor Moon and Chibi Moon are by Dokanko at first, and I love that we get a pink sugar heart attack and that it hits Hokusai close range in the face, and I like how protective Chibi is of Ikuko Mama, and that we see Sailor Moon just runs full force at Hokusai. I thought that was a great moment too. Love all the magical items, and I like that when they're eating pie at the end, Minako says, "No numbers while we're eating." I thought that was really great. And then everyone starts to argue all at once, and we see a single sweat drop on Mamo's head. So that was great. There's some fun parts of this episode, but the overall story was kind of lacking, and it wasn't my favorite. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 roses.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Maybe when she says, "Dad, she's my mama," maybe he was like, "Wait, no, she's my mommy." Maybe he was getting really like sexually confused at that moment. He's
Whoa.
like, "Wait a minute, I'm not into this."
That's weird.
I'm into mommy play. I don't want any kids around here. Yeah, 2. I hate to give the return of Ikuko Mama
I know.
a 2, but once again, come back in a better episode. A lot of weird stuff going on here.
There are so many weird things.
It's weird for me to complain about monotony and then, criticize an episode that is doing something.
Yeah.
A lot of the normal rhythms were kind of off or changed in this episode. I don't know what the onomatopoeia is for that. But it was less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
I feel like it did not work well. And again, there are the continuing concerns that I've brought up, which I won't belabor here, but they are going to creep into my appreciation of the series unless there's some sort of evolution of what we're kind of dealing with here. Other than that, I don't know how I feel about, again, like, now you're going to complain that they're kind of cleaning things up. We just, bam, smash right to, last time it was a perfunctory yelling at the guys. This time it's just smashing right to the bar. And it's almost like, oh, sure, you're realizing that you can't like have a character just yell at their underlings for 30 episodes and then kill one of them or something.
Right.
But you've done that for 125 episodes up till now. Why is that not okay now? Oh, their union, maybe. That's what it is. The circus union. But yeah, I hoping for better things in the future. But just a lot of weird things being broached or brooched. But I'm gonna have to go with the 2.
My English title is Protect Ikuko Mama, Baker of Lemon Pies.
Baker of Lemon Pies.
Yeah.
She certainly is. I think my title is simple, communicative, and easily explained. It is Juban by Gaslight.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Next episode, we are talking about the Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon Supers special, which includes 3 episodes entitled A Beautiful Transformation, The Journey and Growth of the Crybaby Usagi. Number 2.
What?
Yeah. The second episode is Haruka and Michiru Return, The Ghostly Puppet Play.
What?
Yeah. The third episode is Chibiusa's Adventure, The Vampire Mansion of Terror.
What?
Yeah.
The fourth episode?
Yeah.
who ate all these hard-boiled eggs? Usagi's in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a different kind of thing.
This is a special, and
Okay.
it just kind of like, I think it like aired around this time. I don't know, like I think the first one is kind of like just a general look back at it's kind of like a clip show, but the other 2 is our new stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great pumpkin, Sailor Moon. All right, well, we'll have to check that out.
And just in time for Thanksgiving, so it's a holiday treat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Something that I was thinking that we could do before we sign off here is, I mean, come on. This is all about stickers. Lisa Frank, unicorns and things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe the dream finally comes true and Mikan Hana gets a sticker or 2. So we're going to get out our stickers, right?
Oh my gosh.
For our segment called Stick With Us. Thanks for being here. We're going to get some stickers. So we're going to shake them up. Remember, the little legs, it means you're going to get a lady if that's what you want.
Well.
Otherwise, it's probably a patch. So reach right in there, get a sticker.
Feel for something good. Oh, I got
a
Sailor Moon.
Is it Sailor Moon, or is it one of Sailor Moon's many doppelgangers?
It is Sailor Moon.
Oh, okay.
It's not Zoisite or Sailor Venus.
Wish Sailor Moon.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to pull one out. Mine is... This seems kind of familiar. Mine is a heart.
Oh, that's cute.
I don't know. It seems maybe I've just seen it somewhere before. But now it's mine. It is a heart, but it is Luna and Artemis, their tails entwined, laying next to each other, making a heart.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I think is going to become relevant this season, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the stickers that we got.
Yeah.
Sticking with us. Stick with us on social media, where we'll post these. On Instagram, we're at noob_sailor. Twitter, Facebook, all the normal places. Search for Sailor Noob. You'll find us, see our stickers, and say hello.
Well, that's our show for this week. In the name of the moon, we'll be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Oh, the twinkle, yeah!